I'm not a historian or anything that knows a lot about how governments work. I just know we have a constitution and we're supposed to be following the constitution because that's what we broke away from Britain for and we created this country for. So through the years, though, democracy keeps being brought up into discussions or in place of what supposedly the USA is, which is a federal republic. And I've been trying to figure out, nobody wants to give an explanation because governments are the ones bringing this stuff up, and they don't want the people. They don't want the self-evident people because they want a self-evident people, which the government knows what each person, they say this, that, and the other, but they don't want themselves to be self-evident. They don't want their laws to be self-evident, which they're supposed to be under the Constitution. And they, through lawyers and people believing apparently stereotypes that since they're lawyers, they get to make laws, but they forgot that they need to make self-evident laws, which all people understand. So anyway, this democracy thing and what the USA is a federal republic, and it sounds almost like a democrat. It sounds like almost like the old Czech, under communist rule. So I've been, I'm not, like I said, I'm not a historian. I just knew had a constitution. We were supposed to be following that. And then they bring the democracy up. And what democracy is there is no constitution. It's the people supposedly rule through majority, which means that the majority can rule over a minority. And a minority is protected by our constitution. And that's why Biden is trying to push democracy over what we are as a federal republic and have a constitution that protects our rights as individual citizens. Well, the democracy doesn't have a constitution, and they just have the majority rule, and if the majority votes on something, they can overrule the minority. In other words, you don't have a constitution. You don't have rights except through majority rule in a democracy. And that's the reason he's pushing this, is to get rid of a lot of things where even after it becomes a democracy, you can become like a democratic republic of, China or something like that, where it's totalitarian regime power or whatever, and or rule. And so that's why he's pushing democracy, because it's one step closer to totalitarianism, where the government could just take over by saying, getting the people to vote on certain subjects. Like they do everything, they can make put stuff for you to vote on, and within that is their takeover wording. Because if you vote on just allowing lawyers to rule without having to be self-evident, which is what this country basically is. If you read laws, you need a lawyer to figure them out, and these are all wrong. And I say it's not self-evident. It's not constitutional. You can't take it to anybody on the street and say, "What's this law mean?" and they can't figure it out. It shouldn't be law. It has to be self-evident, and that's not what everything is. You shouldn't need a lawyer to live your life. So that's the reason I believe Biden's pushing democracy. And he says, every speech he has, he repeats it like 20 times. And a lot of these news people figure you're already supposed to know what all this stuff means. So now you know the federal republic has a constitution that protects the rights of the individual citizens, as where democracy, the people, the majority vote, majority rule of what the people vote on. If the people vote and the majority picks something, that is what is law. And whatever the minority has, you have no rights. If it's against your rights, you have none. There is no constitution in a democracy. Now, I don't know if they try to change it to constitutional democracy. I don't know. It's still a democracy. It means the majority rules, and that would probably take it away from. They're probably trying. They're going to word it to where delegates aren't aren't the way of the law. They want a popular vote because I think there's more Democrats or people that float a Democrat because they give stuff away for free. See, it's like a free offer political regime or agenda. You know, you get free stuff if you vote for Democrats, and you vote for anybody else, it's whatever. You know, it's everybody knows, well, they're giving away free stuff, so you automatically sign up for coupons. That's what I figured anyway, so it might help you out in your figuring out what the difference between democracy and a federal republic.